I signed on this ship a little over 2 months ago, and since this vessel is a bit older than the previous ones I've featured, I've been very busy with a lot of things. In this episode, I'll be showing you some of the things that I have seen during the first day that I came aboard. Hello everyone, so right now we have just arrived here at New Orleans, Louisiana in the United States. So this is where I'm going to be joining the ship, and it's going to be a little bit tricky because right now we're at the Mississippi River and we're waiting for the ship to pass by, and we will be boarding the ship using the pilot ladder. So basically the same thing that pilots do when they're boarding a ship. We're going to take a boat. It's going to go alongside the ship, and then we're going to climb up. Boarding a ship using the pilot ladder is nothing new to me, but boarding while the ship is moving, that's something rare, and personally, I've only done that twice before in my entire career. On one occasion, I've even boarded a moving ship at night. But on both of those times, the ships were moving at slow speeds. Admittedly, if you're not used to doing it, it really appears intimidating. But still, the excitement was there. So when the ship finally passed by, and it wasn't showing any signs of slowing down, the prospect of boarding it at that speed suddenly turned from intimidating to downright scary. And because we had to move quickly to tie up our luggages and let the guys up on deck pull them up and then climb the pilot ladder, I had to stop recording and focus more on, survival. That's quite a challenge. We finally managed to get on board the ship, but the ship was running, I think, like 6 knots or so. So we had to get moving very fast. And it was scary. But anyway, we're here. We're on board safely. So the contract officially begins. Okay, so today's my first day on board this ship. So I'm already dressed up, had a shower, had to go to sleep after a very long flight for the past 2 days. The previous chief engineer and I will have our handing over a little bit later on, but more or less I'll be ready to assume my responsibilities once the handover procedures are done with. Right now I'm here in the engine room. I'll be doing my rounds so I can familiarize myself with the layout. This setup is completely different from my previous 2 ships. So let's go. As I've mentioned in a previous video about the typical layout of a ship's engine room, the machinery on board every ship with a diesel main engine is pretty much the same, as the concept is exactly the same. The difference, however, is in the details, and there are many, many details. There are dozens of different manufacturers, each one having different machine designs and models, and different layouts. Some designs are efficient and easy to work with, while others are poorly designed and causes constant headaches. But eventually one gets used to working with these quirks, and over time develop techniques and strategies to handle them and incorporate them into the working routine. It's not ideal, yes, but on board a ship, you work with what you have, and most of the time you won't have much. You can complain all you want, but that spare part will not be supplied while the ship is in the middle of the ocean. So seafarers, especially the engineers, must quickly learn to adapt and plan ahead for contingencies. Of course, any ship won't last very long without support from the office. So the onboard management team, which is composed of the captain, the chief engineer, the chief mate, and the second engineer, must work closely and know which issues they need to prioritize in order for the office to act quickly, especially in terms of logistics, especially for bulk carriers, which go to random ports every time, and sometimes in areas which are very far away from civilization. Anyway, during my initial rounds, I've already spotted some things that I didn't like. And these things were just from the surface. A ship this old is bound to have some hidden surprises just waiting to jump at the most inconvenient time. And it is the job of the engineers to find them and rectify them before they become a major problem. After doing my rounds in the engine room, I went outside to catch a glimpse of the Mississippi River during daytime. As you can see, I'm still with the same company I have been with for the past 4 years. A lot of you have been asking about seafarer contracts. I'll explain how they work in an upcoming video. Okay, so more or less that would be our initial tour of the engine room, and that's just a glimpse of things to come in the future videos. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more.